Oh. Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. Double honor to Elder Pastor Graham Millstone, Thomas Truth and Rule Well. Peace, blessing, and salutation to Akim right there. Scattered abroad to the four corners of earth. That's serving this truth and truth sincerity. To I say Shalom. This is Brother Nabala, continuing the video in the spirit. And the topic of this video is going to be about the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. And what sparked this video topic was that you can see with the spirit of the people are in America is, they don't want to fight for this place, man. Because they have awakened to the fact, with this war going on, that they're at the losing end of the stick. They're not, at the top of the food chain, as you would say, where they once was this such powerful nation that had put all these other nations in fear and had them in subjection. But now we're at the point where these nations are not afraid no more. And then it's showing with this war with Iran, if America was really such the big tough guy like it portrays itself to be, this war would have not been drawn out this long. They should have been able to end this war when it first started, But that's showing you that with these other nations, with their technology, how far they've come, So now we're in the point where now they're trying to bring in ground troops, and try to, invade and take over that way. And if you look at the army, the people who consist of the army, they're not your strongest or warrior. They don't have that warrior-like mindset. Then you have, a lot of women in the army too, and they just went for what? They just went to do their little service, just so they can get out and, get, their college or whatever paid for. They didn't really go expecting to have to see no action. Some of these men too, they didn't expect to really go to see some action, but now it's about to be required of you, to put that training that you had to use, and they don't want to do that. And then also, they talking about this draft, how they might have to draft some people. Well, not might, they're going to implement the draft, but they're just in the talks about it now. How some people are going to get drafted. They just raised the age to 42 to be able to get enlisted into the army or get drafted. But you see this with the spirits of your, you would say, your regular American is. They don't want to go fight for this place, man. Because you have some people, and you have, you can say, whistleblowers or people who are on media or news outlets, saying that they don't want to go fight because to back up the tiny caps, man. Because they started this war. The war started between Iran and Israel. And like the scripture says, the least of the flock shall draw them out. So now Israel brought in America. So they're fighting on Israel's behalf, And you got Americans who don't want to get involved in that, but you have no choice, man. You're gonna have to. They're going to implement in the draft, and you're going to be brought over there in the Middle East, and you're going to have to fight, and you're going to die over there. And that's what it comes down to. They don't want to die over there because they see how Iran is getting down, and they don't want to partake in that. But you're not going to have no choice. But that's just showing you how it all comes down to how this place is completely falling, because you had back like a few years ago, you had people, in that spirit, saying, I would love to fight for my country. It'd be an honor to fight for my country. I'll do this for my country. I'll do that for my country. Where is that same mindset now? It's not there no more. You got E, saying, fuck this country, man. Fuck this place. Because they've realized that they have gotten the short end of the stick, man. And they thought with them getting Trump in office that it's going to be for their best interest and be for their best benefit, but they have realized that it's not, man. That he doesn't care about the average American, man. He only cares about what? He only cares about himself, for one. He only cares about the upper class. And if you're not in that bracket, then you're a non-thought in his mind. And now these people are seeing that. So now that they're seeing that, now they're realizing that, well, I shouldn't be supporting or be for this place, but it's too late. You know, you're in the middle of it now. You know, your president put you in the middle of it. So I'm gonna grab this. This is Jeremiah 51:29. It says, "And the land shall tremble in sorrow, for every purpose of the Lord shall be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without inhabitant." Yeah, and that's the purpose of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, to really destroy this place, man. You know, it's how he's going to destroy this place. With thermonuclear destruction, it's going to be shut off from these other nations. You know, this is what we're leading towards, man. But the purpose is for this place to be destroyed. Verse 30 says, "The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight, and they have remained in their holds. Their might have failed. They become as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken." Yeah, their might have failed. They became as women. You have men who became as women. They're crying. They're sighing and crying, man. They're weak, man. This generation that we have right now of these men are weak, man. They're no mighty men. They all soft. So yeah, they're going to refuse, and you can see how they talking. I'm not going to fight, or you're not about to take my kids, or none. You're not about to drive my kids. We're not going. We're not fighting for the place. You got the Marine that was where he was at that. I guess it was a council meeting or wherever it was. What was he saying? Saying we don't want to have to fight on a tiny cat's behalf, man. We don't want to have to do that. You know, and he was an ex-Marine. You know, he's supposed to, you know, be a mighty man, you know, a man of valor, you know, but he don't even want to go. So if your mighty man has that mindset, how much more the everyday regular American, you know? If they get drafted over there, they're not gonna be no use for nothing. They're gonna be terrified. They're gonna be scared. You got soldiers actually terrified and scared that's being shipped over there, man, because they, like I said earlier, they pretty much know that if they go over there, is a high percentage that they're not going to make it back, man. You know, and the media is lying to you about the numbers of deaths that's going on. They try to fabricate the numbers, but Iran has got a lot of bodies, man. They have got a lot of bodies. They ain't just losing a lot of bodies. They getting back, man. And the ones like in the military, you know, they know that. They know exactly what's going on. It's your regular people. Y'all don't know what's going on, man, because they're telling you a lie. But that's what they're supposed to do. And now he's talking about he's trying to do some type of peace talks, man. There ain't gonna be no peace, man. I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna come up. This is Jeremiah 51:6. It says, "Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense." So the Lord is getting ready to render a recompense unto this place. It says, "Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken her wine, therefore the nations are mine." Yeah, mad. Babylon's been a golden cup. Yeah, Babylon, which is America, has been used to pollute the whole world. How? Through its philosophies, through the way of life that is pushed on these other nations to live by. You know, to basically having his hand in every set of deal. You know, putting these nations in subjection unto them, and these nations have you know gotten in bed with this place, and look what it's done to their people. Look what it's done to their nation. It has weakened their nation. It has destroyed their nation. It destroyed their people, man. And now they're mad. And then they see how America conducts themselves. How they feel like they can just do whatever they want. Look what they did with Venezuela. Talking proudly. They gonna take Cuba. They gonna take Greenland. Talking proudly, man. Dropping a bomb or a missile whenever you want to. And think there's no repercussions gonna come from that. These nations are mad now, and now these nations have the ability to act on it, man. And now these nations have big brothers backing them, you should say. which is what? You got Russia and China. Like it says in Ezekiel 28, Russia's going to be a guard to these other nations, man. So that's how you know this place is through. Verse 8, it says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed. Yeah. It says, verse 9 says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go, everyone into his own country, for a judgment reaching up to heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. Yeah. This place is falling, man, and we're in a great event that showed the fall of this place was 2020, man. You know, when the demic happened. That this place has really never recovered since then, man. You know, and ever since then, you know, things have not been the same and things have gotten worse. But they try to lie and say that things are getting better. You know, when Trump was on that MAGA run, you know, talking about make this place great again. This place will never be great again. It reached its height. It reached what it was supposed to do. Now we're on the back end. Now it's on the downfall. You know, and this place can't be healed no matter what Trump tries to do. This place cannot be healed, man. You know, it's a lot going on, man. Look what's going on at the airports. You know, look at the spirit of the people in this place, man. The cost of living, everything, man. Everything is bad, man. And it can't be good, and it can't be fixed, and their solution is going to be what? Their NWO system, just to reset everything, man. That's going to be their solution, and that's not going to even work. That's not going to even fix this place, man. So I'm gonna come over here. So like, yeah, Matthew 12 and 25. It says, and Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And that's what we see, man. This place is divided, man. You got the left against the right, the Democrats against the Republicans, and even with your regular people, man, it's divided. You got Esau against Esau. There's no unity happening right now. Even when you listen to these news outlets, these news reporters, they disagree with each other, man. It damn near about to be a full-out argument and debate right on live television. And it didn't used to be like that. But this is all the Lord's doing, man. The Lord is dividing this place. Why? Because once this place is divided, what's going to happen? It's going to fall because it cannot stand. And this is what happened to Rome, man. That's why this is modern day Rome all over again. The scripture said there's nothing new under the sun, man. So it's just the same. It's just history repeating itself. So I'm going to come over here to Isaiah 19 and 2. It says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And they shall seek to their idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. Hold on. I want to grab this in the NLT. To Isaiah 19 and 2. It says, I'll make Egyptian fight against Egyptian, brother against brother, neighbor against neighbor, city against city, province against province. Yeah, we are fastly entering into those times, man, because the economy is getting worse and worse, man, because of this war. You know, and then you see you done had a few of them T attacks that happened because of this war. So this turning to people that live in this place, that's from Iran or from over there in the Middle East, it's making them upset with what's going on too, man. And the thing is continuing to keep go to where they're going to go. then we might see more T attacks, man. We might, like when the 9 double hockey sticks happened. What was everybody looking at the Muslim culture as? They was looking at all of them as T-Rexes, and was coming up against them, roughing them up and all that type of stuff. So why would that same thing not happen again? So we're going to see. Verse 3, it says, the Egyptians will lose heart and I will confuse their plans. They will plead with their idols for wisdom and call on spirits, mediums, and those who consult with the spirits of the dead. Yeah, man. Because this place is failing, man. The elites, they see this place is failing, man. Their plans is their plans is failing. And what are they gonna do? They're gonna seek, they're gonna seek help, from the left hand side, but it's not gonna be no help for them, because this is the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. And even for the regular people in this place, man, they're gonna be trying to call on whatever power, whatever it is they serve, man, for help, and it's not gonna be no help for them, man. Because that's another thing that this place pushes is heavy idolatry, man. Witchcraft, all of that. And people fully go hard and indulge in that, and they gonna think that's gonna help them in the times we're entering into, and it's not, man. The Lord is gonna shut all of that off. Verse 4 says, and I will hand Egypt over to a hard, cruel master. A fierce king will rule them, says the Lord of heavens and armies. Yeah. And that's Trump, man. Who Apostle Har says is Nero in the reincarnation. Look what he's doing, man. He doesn't have no mercy, man. He doesn't have no remorse. He says whatever he wants. He does whatever he wants, man. He speaks very proudly. That's how you know he's a true Edomite, man, because he speaks very proudly, man. And he's that cruel Lord, and he's ruling with that fierce and that rigor. But the Lord is making him do that, man, so he can perform his will. Someone has to play this role, and he picked a great person to play it, man. Because the Lord is making him to fulfill prophecy. So I'm gonna stay in here. Still in Isaiah. I'm gonna come to Isaiah 31. I'm gonna read verse 1. It says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses, and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong, but they look not to the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. Yeah. Woe to you that go down to Egypt for help, man. And that's been Jake, and that's been everybody too. Look to this place as being some type of help. Because at a point in time, America's army was very strong. It was at the top of the world, but it's not anymore. And our people especially trust in this place, man. But they don't look to the Holy One of Israel. They don't consider what's going on. They don't understand what's going on. They're not trying to understand what's going on. They're just going to continue to trust in this place and to trust in this man to help them get out of this situation. They just hope that everything's going to get better. Even with all this stuff going on, you still got people in the mindset, hey, man, I still got to do me. I still got to live my life. I'm still able to get this. I'm still able to get that. So it can't be too bad. It's going to, when everything is shut off and shut down, and reality really kicks in, then that's when people are going to realize how serious things really are. Verse 2, it says, yet he also is wise and will bring evil and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity. Yeah. It says, now the Egyptians are men and not God, and their horses flesh and not spirit. When the Lord shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down, and they all shall fall together. Yeah. So the ones who's been helped and the ones who's been receiving help, man. the one who's been giving help. I mean, the ones who be giving help and the ones who's been receiving help. They're both going to fall together, man, because the Lord's going to shut everything down, man. Because this man is just a man. He's not God. You know, he tried to place himself like he is a God. He tried to boast himself like he is a God. He's not, because of his technology, but he's not. The Lord's going to, everything of Esau is going to fall. It's going to fail, man. Nothing's going to be able to deliver you out of things that's happening, man. If you don't have the Lord, if you don't have Yahweh Shem Yahushua on your side, then you through, man. That's when you come over here to Jeremiah 17:5. What does it say? It says, "Thus saith the Lord, cursed be the man that trusteth the man and maketh flesh his arm, whose heart departed from the Lord." Yeah. Jake's heart has departed from the Lord, man. Because that's what we're concerned about. We're concerned about what? The nation of Israel and the elect. But what we're warning all of Israel, man, and we warning all the nations too. You know, because you got a lot of people that still put Esau on a pedestal, that thinking he's going to be the one because of his track record and history. He's always looked like he's came out on top, but he's not going to come out on top, man, because we're in the end. And it's prophesied in the end that what? Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning that followeth, man. So we're at the end of his rulership. So I'm gonna grab this. This is Jeremiah 25 and 31 through 33. It says, "A noise shall come even to the ends of the earth, for the Lord hath a controversy with the nations. He will plead with all flesh. He will give them that are wicked to the sword, saith the Lord." Yeah. So the Lord has a controversy with all the nations, man. Why is all this stuff happening? Yeah. He's being affected, but a lot of these other nations are being affected too, because what? They're shooting at each other, man. All these nations are getting ready to fight against each other. Why? Because the Lord has a controversy with all of them, man. Because of what? Because what they have done to his chosen people, to us. Throughout years, man. To this day. Ishmael talked shit against us. Ham talked shit against us. Esau definitely talked shit against us. Moab, Ammon. They all talking shit against us. Doing us wrong to this very day. But time's about to change, man. And soon. You're about to have to pay back for everything you've done to us, man. Because you're not going to be acquit of your charges. You know, that's not your judgment. You're going to have to pay that. You're going to have to pay that tab, buddy. This is verse 32. It says, "Thus saith the Lord of hosts, behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation, and a great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. And the slain of the Lord shall be at that day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented, neither gathered, nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground." Yeah. So verse 32, it says, evil shall go from nation to nation. So everyone, man, all these nations. Everyone. It says from one end of the earth even to the other end. So all around the world, man, all these nations, man, you're going to feel it. No one is going unpunished, man. Even two-thirds of Israel not going unpunished. So why would the rest of you nations think you gonna skate off in the limelight, man? No. Y'all all have to pay, man. And y'all all gonna pay how? When World War III is implemented, man. When World War III is at its height, man. When y'all all are gathered over there in the Middle East to fight in that world war, man. Yahushua's gonna return and plead with y'all, man. So y'all all have to pay. So this where we at. You know, we're gonna see what continues to happen. You know, we're gonna see when this draft is implemented what they're gonna do. Because I'm pretty sure like they always do. If you refuse to go, then they just gonna lock you up, you know, and they gonna cut you off, and they gonna break you, and a lot of people gonna break because why? Because these men are weak. These people are weak-minded, man. They don't have that backbone that they once had, man. So we're just gonna see what happens. So that's pretty much it. Lord willing, this video is edifying. I'm gonna close out by giving our praises to Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem Kakadash. Shalom.